First of all, one of the coaches came by here and actually named a dish after you. Is that something that you think highly of? And then the thought on the naming of the dish, what made you decide on that particular name?
How much respect I have for Coach Gillespie, and just wanted to honor him in some way. So I named my dish after him.
All right, congratulations.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Now that's a certain sign of disrespect, is what that is. I think he's for. I think there's going to be a lot of food poisoning. If he named that thing after me, it's got no chance.
Let's talk about your team and your expectations for the coming weeks and months.
Well, I think like all of us, we're anxious to get going. We're anxious to play somebody other than ourselves. We have a good returning group of field players or position players. We're real high on our third baseman, Brian Hernandez, who was an all-conference player in the Big West last year. Our shortstop, DJ Crumlick, I think is a premier college defender. We like our catcher, Ronnie Schaefer. All these guys have played a reasonable amount for us, or a lot for us. The real scary thing is young pitching. And we've had real good pitching. We inherited good pitching there 3 years ago. We've lived and died with that group of pitchers, and they're gone now. So it's a new group, and it's an inexperienced group, and that's not something that any coach is particularly thrilled about. But it's not that there's no ability. They just have to grow up yesterday and be good real fast.
When you have young pitchers like that, what in particular is the focus of a coaching staff and a coach like yourself in teaching them to get to be the best they can in a short period of time?
Well, I think first and foremost what it requires is something that I'm afraid I'd have to plead guilty to not being or not having, which is patience. Because if they're freshmen, or if they're, in our case, if they're not only freshmen but some sophomores that haven't pitched much, well, there's going to be some growing pains. There's for sure a learning curve. So I may have to find some medication that backs me off of those guys, and so they have a chance to become what they can become. But it's a fun group. We like them. It's like everybody else has said. We're undefeated right now, and it's a group that's worked great. We like the work ethic.
I have to tell everyone, during Anaheim Ducks radio broadcast, you can hear this guy on one of the commercials. We listen to you. Do a good job, by the way.
Thank you. I'm always looking for a new job, I'll tell you that.
All right. Any questions for Mike here?
Coach, has anybody stepped up and taken on the leadership role, kind of like you had Orloff 2 years ago, and has anybody taken up that role?
Yes, and I'm happy to say that. But you make a great analogy to Ben Orloff and some of the guys that stepped up even last year, but most particularly the third baseman, Brian Hernandez, who's a senior now and has been, while he was ineligible his first year 2 years ago, he's been in the program for 2 years, and he's become a real leader, and so has DJ Crumlick, Sean Madigan, who's a senior, and Ronnie Schaefer. I think those four guys, along with Crosby Slott, a third-year pitcher, they've done what Ben and Danny Babona and those guys did while they were there. So that's a good question, and it's an easy yes.
Okay, anything else for Mike? There's one over there.
Well, that's yeah, that's a great question, and I'm sort of stuck for an answer to that. They, in fact, are not retiring my number. They don't even know what my number was. But they are naming the scoreboard, which I really thought was it's flattering. It's an honor. I'm anxious to see what they actually do with that. I think they're going to put the name on the back of the scoreboard. Is what they're going to do. I think it's going to face the parking structure.
All right. Anybody else? Okay, Mike. The most important question: how are you going to win this contest?
Well, I'm fired up about this. I'm ready to go. I'll tell you what I'm depending on. I'm depending on a far more intellectual group of judges. I'm so sick of Bob Bronsema stepping up here with that tired old UCSB around his plate. So I'm counting on this group of judges not buying into that. That's just old. Larry Lee, I hope that they saw through what he did. He should be disqualified along with Jason Gill. Larry Lee has worked in the kitchen at McClintock's up there on the Central Coast for a long time. So he comes with an obnoxious level of arrogance and ego. And so I do think that, I mean, I know this year I will win, but I hope John Savage is the runner-up because that is flattering and I appreciate what he's done. But I'm looking forward to this. This is a slam dunk, no-brainer. I'll win this thing today.
Well, Mike, thanks and good luck.
Teriyaki chicken, I'm impressed. I'd like to point out that those were baseballs.
Everything was going good until I brought out the knife. And now it's just a disaster, and my plan's pretty much done.
Okay, need to regroup. Let's regroup. Get the toothpicks. That's going to be key to hold this thing together. All right? So just a little advice. Toothpicks there for Jason. Coach Gillespie.
Yes, sir.
Talking a big game up there on stage, sir. How are we doing?
Oh, we're doing great. We're doing fabulous. It's right on target. Moving along just as we planned.
Now, is it true in 2009 you had the Nightmare Award? Is that right?
You know, I think as Coach Hill so articulately pointed out, we don't look backward. We don't look too far forward. We just live in the present. And so all that matters is that this is a no-brainer. I'll win this thing running away.
All right, let's talk about the present. What do we have on the plate right now? What's the plan?
Well, I think what the strategy today was to move ahead with a Pacific Rim plan. We're going to have a little Asian flavor to all of this today, actually.
Coach, I can't wait to see it on the menu. All right, instill a little Asian fusion there. I like it. All right, keep going there, Coach. Judges, you've had several sliders come on by. Nancy, got to get your thoughts. Anyone has stood out so far to you?
Yeah, you know, the one from Coach Savage. Actually, I was a little afraid of it when I was watching it being made, but it was delicious.
Coach Savage getting some marks over here. I know he was selling it. Brett, do you have anybody that stood out so far? Okay, Coach Gillespie is with me right now. All right, Coach, once again, I'm going to take you back through what just happened there about 20 minutes ago. A lot of talk here on stage, saying you're going to win this thing. We got behind the oven there, a little Asian fusion, still a lot of confidence. Now you're in front of me with your masterpiece. Do you still have the confidence?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. As I said, I'm depending on the refined palates and taste buds of the judges, and the fact that it's that we're a little down the lineup here. They might be a little tired of all this really inferior food they've been tasting, and I think I undershot the mark just a little bit on the presentation, but look, we're all about great taste, less filling, and I know the judges will love the taste. I'm just positive of that.
Take me through, and I get the four here real quickly. What can they expect when they bite into these?
Well, we've touched a little bit of it all. As I mentioned, we're heading for a little Asian flavor here today. As I mentioned, these are sliders kimura, which means not tempura, but kimura. And so we've got a little pulled pork. We've got the two different beef patties. We also have the chicken, and there's a little Asian touch to all of it. They probably should eat these with chopsticks, actually, and that's the only way they'll be able to appreciate what we're trying to get to today.
Well, it looks like you used the toothpicks as chopsticks, so I guess they could give that a shot, right?
They could do that. I hope they will. I hope they'll like that idea.
Coach, well done. I like it. Definitely a lot of creativity. He's taking over the judges. Judges, best of luck with this one. Wish you the very best. Have some water and some crackers before Coach comes over there.